Hi there, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we'll be learning about basic arithmetic, okay? And on the basic arithmetic, we will be learning rates. Okay, so at this point, I'd remind you to set the video to play in 1080p HD. Very important that you do so you see everything clearly. And as the lesson progresses, if you have any issues at all, anything comes across unclear, please feel free to get in touch. Okay, you can do so via the course dashboard and we would be happy to help. Okay, let's jump right into the lesson. So rates. Now what are rates exactly? Okay, um rates compare two quantities of different kinds. For example, we could be comparing distance traveled and time taken. So basically, if you get in a car and you want to travel a distance, you would travel said distance over a given period of time, and you would have a rate at which you travel said distance over the given period of time. So you're basically comparing the distance traveled with the time taken to complete the journey, to complete the distance. You can also compare population and geographical area. Okay, sometimes you could be asked to compare the number of people in a place against the area of the place, geographical area of the place that they live in, the size of the area that they're living in. And I think that is called population density. And you can compare the mass of a body and the volume of space that it occupies. Okay, so basically, and this is density. I believe we all know this is density. So this is what these are rates basically, and that's what rates are about. You're basically comparing two quantities of different kinds. Now there's a very important rate that we will be discussing in this lesson, and that rate is speed, because we all work with speed from time to time, and speed is the rate at which distance is covered with time. Okay, so if you're moving in a car, moving in a train, moving in an airplane, you would be moving at a given speed, and that is primarily what we would be discussing in this lesson. Okay, very important rate, speed. Now speed is distance over time. So if you cover 20 kilometers in 2 hours, to find the speed, let's say you're in a car and you cover 20 kilometers in 2 hours, to find the speed of said car, you simply divide the distance covered, 20 kilometers, by the time, 2 hours, and you'll end up with a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. It's that simple. There really isn't much to it. So sometimes you could be given the speed of the car and the time that the car ran for, and asked to calculate the total distance that the car covered, and basically you just multiply the speed by the time, it will give you the distance. So if you had a car that was moving at 10 kilometers per hour and the car ran for 2 hours, and you're asked to calculate the distance that the car covered, you simply do 2 times 10, that's 2 hours, times 10 kilometers per hour, and you end up with 20 kilometers. Now if you have distance and speed and you're asked to calculate time taken, you simply say distance divided by speed and you have your time. It's that simple. It's basically change of subject formula, but the main formula that you need to know is that speed equals distance over time. Now there's some things worth noting. You need to know that the standard unit of measurement for speed is kilometer per hour. Okay, it's also written as kmh to the power of -1. Is written in that form. That also means kilometers per hour. And you should also know that 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Okay, because you could be given some questions sometimes and you will need to do some conversions before you start calculating your speed, your distance, or your time. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Okay, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. I believe we all know this. And 1 hour also equals 3,600 seconds. Okay, so I think that is pretty much all we need to know about speed. Now let's go ahead and solve some examples. Example 1. Now, example 1 says calculate the speed of a car if it travels 32 kilometers in 30 minutes. Something you need to note there, we've been given our time in minutes, okay? So, and it's usually you can work with minutes, to be fair, but very often it's best to work with your time in hours. Okay, so we've been given distance, we've been given time, and we've been asked to calculate speed. The first thing we'll do here is we'll identify the relevant formula, and the relevant formula in this case is distance over time. Okay, speed is distance over time. We've been asked to solve for speed, and we would identify our parameters now, and we have that our distance is 32 kilometers and our time is 30 minutes, which is 0.5 hours. Okay, when you convert 30 minutes to hours, you have 0.5 hours, and all we have to do now is substitute our values. Distance is 32, time is 0.5, speed equals distance divided by time, and we have that speed is 32 divided by 0.5, and you end up with an answer 64 kilometers per hour. Very simple, very straightforward. Let's move on. Now, example 2. Example 2 says a car travels at an average speed of 30 kilometers per hour. How long does it take to cover 200 meters? So in this case, we've been given speed and we've been given distance and we've been asked to calculate time. So first thing we want to do, identify a relevant formula. What we have is time equals distance over speed, distance divided by speed, and then we identify our parameters. We've been given that our distance is 200 meters, which is 0.2 kilometers, and then we have speed as 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, and now we can go ahead and say time equals distance, i.e. 0.2, divided by speed, i.e. 30, and we have 0.2 divided by 30, and we have our answer there. Very simple. Okay, let's do one final example. Okay, and this one is a bit more complicated than the others. Now, it says a train moving at uniform speed covers 36 kilometers in 12 minutes. Okay, so we have a train moving at uniform speed covers 36 kilometers in 12 minutes. How long will it take for the same train to cover 60 kilometers? Okay, so we've been given two instances here. All right. It says the train covers 36 kilometers in 12 minutes. Okay, at a given speed. All right, and it's asking you how long will it take the same train to cover the distance of 60 kilometers moving at the same speed. So what we have here is we have a situation where we need to solve for the speed of the car first. Okay, once you have the speed of the train, once you have the speed of the train, you can then use that to solve for the time it will take the train to cover a distance of 60 kilometers. Okay, and now how do we go about solving for the speed of the train? We simply say speed equals distance over time, and we've been told that the train covers a distance of 36 kilometers in 12 minutes or 0.2 hours. Okay, and we can then go ahead and say our speed, the speed of the train is 36 divided by 0.2, which will give you 180 kilometers per hour. So now we have the speed of the train and we want to use this speed to solve for the time it will take the train to cover 60 kilometers. So we have time equals distance over speed, and in this case we have that distance is 60 kilometers and the speed of the train, as we found from step 3, is 180 kilometers per hour. So now we can go ahead and say time is 60 divided by 180, which would give us 0.33 hours. And that is how you go about doing that, which would bring us to the end of this lesson. Okay, very simple lesson. It's just one simple formula really, and then whenever you given different situations, you need to know how to manipulate said formula to get your results. Okay, and yeah, bye for now.